War in Europe. Hitler's war machine storms into Poland in an attempt to make a statement and reclaim lost lands. The world watches in horror as the citizens of Poland are displaced and persecuted. France, thought by many at one time to be the mightiest army in the world, stood little chance against Hitler's blitzkrieg tactics. The French army had invested too many resources in the Maginot Line, a walled defensive structure that the German army simply walked around. Paris had fallen, and the British army was forced to retreat for the time being back to Britain. Hitler's armies marched triumphantly through the Parisian streets. The United States sat and watched from across the ocean. It had become our policy not to meddle in the affairs of Europe unless deemed totally necessary. In reality, we were aiding the weakened Allies with the production of war materials. It would only be a matter of time before we were forced into war. As battles continued to be fought in Europe, our Pacific Fleet was attacked by the Japanese on the morning of December 7, 1941. The attack on Pearl Harbor nearly destroyed our Pacific Fleet, but did one thing the Axis powers were not expecting. It united our country and prompted us to declare war. Battles are literally waged around the world. Major battles are fought in Europe, Africa, Asia, and almost all major bodies of water. The world had never truly experienced a war such as this one, with the lines of good and evil so clearly defined. The Allies land in Europe on the coast of northern France in what is still considered to be the largest amphibious invasion in the history of the world. This will become known as storming the beaches of Normandy. While the D-Day landings were nearly a disaster, our forces eventually established a foothold and slowly began fighting our way to Berlin. Allied forces fought valiantly across Europe and slowly began to cut off Germany from vital fuel supplies, something their armored divisions greatly needed to operate. After years of fighting, the German war machine was slowly falling to pieces. Much to the dismay of the entire world, it was discovered that Adolf Hitler had activated what was referred to as the final solution. This final solution led to the abuse and murder of over 6 million Jews, black, homosexual, and handicapped people in Europe. This is considered by many to be the lowest point in human history. Eventually, the Allies would take Berlin and end the war in Europe. Soon after, President Truman would order the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which prompted the weakened Japanese army to finally surrender, ending the Second World War. The dawn of the nuclear age was upon us, and the world would never be the same.